Hey T Squad, it's me Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Keke Wyatt'S World Season 1 Episode 2 review. I have to let you guys know that this episode was so emotional for me. Like, this episode took me out, and I'll give more context when we get to what, like, emotionally disturbed me and stirred up a lot of old emotions in myself. Like, this episode was very, like, mirroring to my own life, and it was very cathartic. Like, it was a lot. So we pick up where we left off last week with Keke's husband Zachariah telling her to kindly, respectfully shut up, which she needed to. And she was like, that's fine, but don't be telling me to shut up again. And Zachariah was like, I'm tired of this because you love each other. You love this man, your husband, your brother, and it's just the devil. Trouble gonna follow you wherever you go out this house because Satan knows the bond that y'all have. And I was like, you better speak the truth and shame the devil. And I love that she has a husband like that who is willing and able enough to step in and be like, this is stupid. This is petty. Y'all love each other. I'm not going to let y'all just give up on this friendship over stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I like that he can be the type that also tells Keke, you know, when she's wrong and when she needs to apologize and when she needs to stop being so dramatic and spoiled and all that. And I saw a lot of people on social media saying that he gay and this, that, and the third or whatever. Now, you know, if I point it out, I'm going to point it out. But that man ain't no damn gay. He's just a God-fearing, loving man, which she needed in her life, especially with all the other men that she had been with. But I love him for her. Absolutely love him for her. I just need to know what he do for a living. That's what I need to know. Hopefully he ain't over there living off her as well. Because I'm like, we don't never see this man leave up out of their house going nowhere. He always in a black tank top, black jogging pants, and flip-flops. And a wave cap. I don't know if he teach jujitsu in the basement. I don't know if he a personal trainer. I don't know, but I need to know what this man do for a living. Are you working or you just like security? Are you hired? Like, I need answers. But Keke starts to cry, was like, and is that part that's pissing me off. And it's that part that's pissing me off. So Andre was like, I'm here because I love you. I still feel like I'm owed an apology because you just left me out there and did communicate. And I agree. Like, no matter the fact that we're friends, we still have a business relationship at the end of the day. And you just not talking to me for a month. I don't know where I stand business-wise with you, what I should be doing. Like, you're not giving me any kind of context, which is not fair and it's not right. And she did owe him an apology for that. So she says that she's stuck in her personal life right now and not her career. And that's understandable. But if you're going to be focusing on life right now, then you need to let me know that. Like, we literally just signed this new record deal, girl. So you need to figure it out. Okay? You just can't be going back and forth. So Keke finally apologizes, which she says is really hard for her. And it's something that she don't do. And I do not understand people like that be like, I don't apologize. Why? What is so wrong with you apologizing when you're wrong? Like, what does that take out of you? Obviously, that's something inside of you that you need to work on, that you're so built up within yourself that apologizing to you makes you feel weak or like you being punked or I don't know. Like, it's so weird to me when people say that. But they end up hugging it out and making up, and Keke nasty butt gonna fart in their kitchen. Had that kitchen smelling like rotten eggs and stuff, running everybody up out of there. And I'm like, you nasty heifer. But the one thing about Keke is that she's herself. Cameras on, cameras off, she's herself. And I like that she keeping it real and she's being real. And that she ain't faking the funk and it's not scripted or anything like that. Like, she's showing her real true life, whether you like it or you don't. So this is when the episode for me emotionally took a nosedive, because baby. So Keke talks to her family, some of her family in the kitchen about her album. And the kids and Keever's girlfriend, who is so vocal to me. And I don't want to tell the little girl to shut up, because obviously she's a part of the family and they love her. But I need more context. How old are you? Where are your parents? Why are you there? Why are both of y'all living in these people's house? If y'all old enough to be shacking up together, y'all should be old enough to get y'all own place. I don't believe in all that. Like, that's just, that don't feel right in my spirit. And she just always got something to say. I don't know about her, Bernie. So, the kids is telling her that she needs to, like, gear her music towards the younger crowd. No, she don't. No, she don't, because y'all ain't the one buying her music. Keke Wyatt is that and then some, honey. That last album, woo! Hold, let me go to my title playlist right now. Hold up, I got a whole Keke playlist, okay? On my title. Yes, ma'am, I do. Keke Wyatt. Boom, here we go. What album was this? Keke Wyatt, Rated Love for Lovers Only. Baby, this album right here, if you have not listened to it, get your life right now. This album was everything. Back to You, I Know, Still Have Love, Love Me, No Peace. Child, please. Sang down, all right? Check that album out. Nah, she don't need to gear her music towards the younger crowd, because y'all ain't gonna buy it. Y'all don't even, the younger kids don't even know who a Keke Wyatt is. If I showed my son right now a picture of Keke Wyatt, he wouldn't know who the heck she was or what she do for a living. So, her son Kemar is sitting at the kitchen island with his headphones on, playing a game on his phone. And so she was like, Kemar, and she couldn't get his attention. So she like threw something at him to get his attention. He was like, huh? And she was like, hey, loner, can you please come and join the rest of the family and act normal? And he was like, I'm not doing nothing. As soon as he said that, y'all, my heart sank, because I saw my son sitting there. I saw Kyrese sitting there. They remind me so much of each other. And he's just a sweet, calm soul, and you can tell that he carries a lot with him. And when his sister Mimi, get to teasing him, he gets up and walks out of the room. And she called him Big Booty George and Kiva girlfriend. I'm like, how old are you? You old enough to be laying up in somebody's house. You should be old enough to know that that's not right, to be sitting up there laughing at this little girl making fun of this little boy. People need to stop doing that to kids, because I myself used to get teased when I was younger. We've all gone through it, from family members, people at school. You getting big, or you done gained weight. You need to slow down on eating. You getting boobs. Like, it ain't nothing worse than going over a family member's house for a holiday and somebody saying, ooh, you gotten big. Ooh, you done gained weight. And just pointing out imperfections that you either knew you had or didn't even know you had. So now you question, like, well, have I gotten bigger? Like, what the? And then it make you feel like you shouldn't even eat. Like, I hate that. And it give you a complex. Like, that's not okay. And the first time my own mama tried to shame Kyrese about him getting bigger, oh, baby, I cut that off real quick. You will not up in here. How about you lose 10 pounds, sister girl? I ain't got no problem. You will not body shame a child in my face. You will not. I mean, it's not okay to do it to anybody, but especially a child, a teenager, like, they going through enough with insecurities. So I felt so bad for that little boy, and it broke my heart, because it's bad enough y'all already doing it, but now y'all doing it with a camera crew for the world to see, and who knows what he going through at school. You know what I'm saying? Like, So Keke was like, Mimi, like, he wasn't even doing nothing to nobody. And I was like, well, yeah, Mimi was 100% wrong, but you were wrong too with the way that you put him on display in front of everybody, calling him a loner and telling him to act normal. He is acting normal, ignoring y'all. Like, so Mimi in her confessional says, Kemar is sensitive. So if you know this, why do you do that? And I understand she a little young girl, but Keke and the husband need to tell them to stop. or I'm gonna start calling out stuff about you. Don't make me do it to you, little girl. So, the little girl, Takia, the little girlfriend, and her confessional say, when you in this family, you gotta be tough because we're not nice to each other. You ain't a part of the family. Go home, Roger. The hell is going on over there? So Keke goes downstairs to check on him because he went down into the basement. And she was like, why you leave? And he was like, I just wanted to go play the game. But she knows that he's lying, that he's upset. So Kemar in his confessional says, I didn't really want to hear what they had to say about me because it was actually starting to hurt my feelings a little. But my mom was basically the one who started it. Her and the other girls over there calling me names for no reason. Baby, when I tell y'all, I'm about to start crying again. The tears started flooding out of my eyes because when Kyrese was younger, he used to get teased here and there about his weight and him being stocky. Like, he was never like, Humpty Dumpty, but he was a stocky dude or whatever. And he looked older in body-wise at a very young age. He still had a baby face, though. You know what I'm saying? So hearing him say that, it was affecting him with them calling him names and stuff like that. And you can tell he's a child that is different. He got his own interests. He's quiet. He's not confrontational. It's obvious that, he might suffer with, like I said, body issues or, feeling some type of way, feeling lonely or whatever the case may be. Just because he got a bunch of siblings don't mean that he still can't be in the house and feel lonely. Because it's obvious that he's different from his siblings. You know what I'm saying? And that just reminded me so much of my child. Oh my God, y'all, I was a crying wreck. When Kyrese came home from work, he was like, what's wrong? But I was like, this little boy reminded me so much of you. And I showed Kyrese. And he was like, yeah. He was like, that's how it is for a lot of, kids. But I always assumed that Kyrese felt the way he felt because he's the only child. You know what I'm saying? And the alone feeling and not having anybody to do stuff with. I thought it was an only child thing. But you see this little boy who has 10 other siblings is going through the same thing. And so it just broke my heart. It broke my heart because I have a very tough exterior. I'm a very tough person. I'm very strong. But when it comes to kids, that's my weak spot. That is my weak spot. So Kemar was like, I think you guys, wait a minute, what did he say? He was like, I think you guys talk about me except for Dad. And Keke was like, I'm sorry, I apologize or whatever. So Keke in her confession was like, this is the thing for me. He's a big boy. He wears a size 13 shoe. He's a big guy, but he's just only 12. I think I forget he's just a freaking baby. I have to stop saying stuff like loner to him. I think he feels like that's a part of bullying. And it's not bullying per se, but it's just putting him on a spotlight because he already feels different and like he stands out amongst the pack. As being different from his siblings. You know what I'm saying? So, but I totally got where she was coming from, but you have this young man who looks like he's older than what he is, but he's still a 12-year-old boy going through puberty and all of these different emotions and feelings and physical changes and all of these things. You know what I'm saying? So Keke was like, I don't know why we can be so mean to you sometimes. I'm so sorry. You've never talked about anything like this with me before. And this is when I really broke down. He was like, because I thought nobody cared and nobody wanted to hear about it. And me and Kyrese went through some issues where he had issues that he was going with, where he said, I keep stuff bottled in because I don't want to burden you with it because I know you're going through a lot. Woo! Jesus be offense. I just saw my son and that little boy and I just wanted to hug him. I just wanted to hug him and console him and let him know that he is loved and cared about. And he's perfectly perfect, as a human being, as who he is, and that there's nothing wrong with him, because I had to speak that life into my son. I still have to speak those words of affirmation into my son, and he's 23 years old. Parenting never ends. It never ends. Just because your child turns 18 does not mean that your job as a parent ends. You know what I'm saying? So, Keke was like, "You're about to make me cry." And so she covers her face and she starts to tear up. And Kemar was like, "That's why I shouldn't have said nothing, because I knew you were going to cry. I shouldn't have said something. I'm sorry." And I was like, "No, it's okay to tell her how you feel. I know boys want to protect their mom and their feelings, and they don't want to see their moms upset. My own son has said those words to me, but you have a right to feel your feelings and not have to apologize for them because it affects somebody else and then makes them have to look at where they're going wrong." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "No, baby, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Do not apologize." And I wish Keke would have said that in that moment, but maybe she doesn't have the wherewithal, the knowledge to know to tell him that, no, your feelings are valid and it's okay. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be all right. We're going to worry about you in this moment. So, Keke is crying, and a producer doing a confessional asks Kemar, "Do you feel like you have to protect her feelings?" And he says, "Yeah, sometimes, because I know it's hard on her having all these kids and the kid in the hospital 24/7. And I was just like, oh God, like this is one of the pitfalls of having all of these children, because obviously it's been put in their head that we have to protect each other and take care of each other and swallow our emotions and feelings because mom is overwhelmed and has a lot going on. And that's not okay for any child. It's not okay. They should know that they have an open door policy to say how they feel and not feel like they're adding on to her burden by speaking up about things that are bothering them. Because all that's going to do is raise resentment in them and even bigger problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think about that when you're having multiple children, how you have to take time out to pour into each one of them individually and build relationship with them because they're all different, you know? And, Keke says, "I don't want you to be going through this and you don't talk to mommy." And I was like, "Good, that's good, Keke." And Kemar was like, "I really don't like to talk to anybody." And I was like, oh my God, those same words have come out of my own son. And so Keke was like, "But that's the problem. You need to talk to somebody." Same words I've said to my own son, although we did get help from my son and he went through therapy and things of that nature. And we continue to work on his issues. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot take things like that lightly when it comes to your children when they're telling you that they have these feelings and emotions going on. I don't care how old they are, okay? Because I'm not about to lose my child to depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, whatever. I'm not about to lose my child. My child ain't gonna ever feel like he gotta resort to a narcotic or resort to depression or whatever, okay? Any type of vices or whatever. And this is something that we just went through in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? So no, the job is never done. And one thing that I had to learn as a parent is just because I'm strong in certain areas don't mean that my child is going to be strong in those areas, because he's not me and I'm not him. And just because he's a boy doesn't mean that, or a young man doesn't mean that he's not allowed to have any type of insecurities or, you know, feelings about his life or anything like that and feel like, oh, because I'm a man, I can't voice them. Hell no, you need to speak up. And I wish that more parents would pour into their child, no matter their sex, that feelings aren't bad, aren't weak, okay? They're normal. And you have the right to express them and work on them, no matter what. So Kemar was like, "But I don't like everybody except for dad. And I don't want to talk about this stuff with dad because this stuff is weird. I don't feel comfortable talking about this stuff. And Keke kisses him, and that's the end of that scene. But we also are reminded that Zachariah is not his biological father. He's his stepfather, and obviously there's things going on with his relationship with his father, Michael. So even though he loves Zachariah and looks at Zachariah like a father figure, he's still not his father. He still knows who his father is. And that's probably a major part of why he feels the way that he does. This boy wonders how I went from having my father in the household with me every day into now my father's in another household and he doesn't pour into me the way that he used to or whatever. This boy got a lot going on that some discussions need to be had and worked through. So Keke and Zachariah the next day or whenever talk about Kemar, and Keke was like, I'm trying to figure out where I dropped the ball and how I can pick it up. And I was like, I love the fact that she realizes that she messed up and that there's work that needs to be done. And I totally 100% appreciate that, because a lot of mamas will just be like, or parents will be like, oh, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? And just forget about it. So Zachariah says he's going to talk to him. And Keke was like, he's so sweet because he thinks about others more than he thinks about himself. And he's keeping everything bottled inside because he's worried about me suffering. And she was like, I got to do better. And I was like, that's the first step with acknowledging the fact that you have to do better, because we as parents got to check in with ourselves and do a checklist on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, because we go into parenting only knowing what we know from growing up and how we were parented. And I made a conscious decision when I had my child that I was going to take certain things of value that I was taught from my parents, and then it was other areas in my life as a mom that I wanted to improve upon, like having a close, solid bond with my child where he can talk to me about any and everything. Like Kyrese can come to me and tell me anything. We have that type of bond. I know about all of his first. I talk to him about everything from the rooter to the tutor. Like, he know everything about me. I don't sugarcoat anything. I want him to see that I am not a perfect human being. I'm a human being just like you are. And I love the fact that me and him have not only a mother-son relationship where that respect is there, but he's also my best friend. And the lines don't get blurred. You can be your child's friend and be their parent. And I think that for me, I feel like kids relate to you more when you're open and honest and ain't trying to just be mom and be so perfect and I ain't go through that and I ain't do that and you shouldn't do that. Well, tell me why I shouldn't do it. Did you do it? Give me an example. Kids need that. You know what I'm saying? So Andre tells Keke Band that she's running late for rehearsal because she's bringing the baby, and he knows she's going to be distracted when she gets there. So she gets there, and come to find out, she's losing her voice. But baby, even with her voice being a little hoarse or whatever the case may be, baby, Keke in that rehearsal still will sing your faves down, honey. The voice is there no matter what. I mean, that girl voice is anointed by Jesus and all of the angels in heaven. So it's the night of Keke's performance at the City Winery, and her writing partner, Kizzy, opens up for her. And we learn that Kizzy is back working with her former manager named Johnny that Keke don't like, and told her, keep him away from me. I don't want him around me in my space. Apparently, Johnny didn't had some, questionable things going on with his managing as far as money-wise with Kizzy. I guess he was scamming and not doing stuff right, all right? So I'm like, why would you go back to working with somebody that has stole from you? And she says that, things are different this time and she keeping an eye on him, this, that, and the third. So she performs her song, and she doesn't have a bad voice, don't get me wrong, but she needs a little more training. Her voice doesn't sound strong, and I wasn't feeling it. I feel like she needs to focus on just being a writer. I don't see the career for her, I just wasn't feeling it. So Keke is about to perform, and she spots Johnny, and she looking like, the hell is he here? Like, I told this girl to keep him from around me. That would have pissed me off too. Because that I already got a million things going on in my head. And I know I got somebody in my space that I don't even like. Like, no. So, Keke performs, does a phenomenal job as always. And she brings her baby boy out and she sings "You Are My Sunshine" to him on stage. And it was a very sweet, beautiful moment. Some of the other kids came out as well. And after the performance, Andre tells her that she has to record 10 songs for this album. Keke was like, I thought it was 8 songs. But Andre was like, it was never that. It was always 10 or whatever. So Kizzy asked them to come to her video shoot. And Keke asks, why are you working with Johnny again? And Kizzy was like, I've been standing up for myself more and double checking behind him and about my money. Girl, if you got to do all that, ain't no point. Okay, the best thing you can do for yourself as a businesswoman or man is if you are in the position to be able to handle your funds yourself, do so, because you ain't never got to worry about or wonder if somebody ain't doing right by your money. You ain't never got to worry about waiting on somebody to give you your money. Like, no. So Keke just looking at her like, okay, girl, you like it. I love it, I guess. So Zachariah ends up talking to Kemar about what's been going on. And Kemar says that, he's a father figure to him in his confessional, but, he's not his real father. So producers asked Keke about his relationship with his father, Michael. So before she answered, she was like, let me ask him, is it okay to talk about it? And I loved and I respected that she asked him permission before she talked about that on camera. So Zachariah comes into the room and she asks, what's the relationship? Are you okay with me talking about your father? He was like, yeah, I don't care. And so she was like, how is it y'all relationship? And he was basically, it's like he was saying that Michael buys him stuff, but that's about it. Like, he buys him things, but there's no quality time being spent, and that's what really needs to be focused on and helped with him. I feel like he needs to be in therapy. I feel like he needs to figure out some type of after school program he can be in, some type of hobby or something that he can, explore more outside of just sitting up and playing a video game. And I feel like more time needs to be spent with him, because that's a big adjustment to your father being in the household and then he's not, and then he ain't even really a part of your life anymore. That's a lot for a kid to process, So, it just made me feel for him even more. I love him so much. So, Zachariah tells him to come to him about the bullying. He was like, because that's going to stop as of today. Like, it's going to stop. And I was like, I really hope that they do put their foot down and make them stop teasing each other. So then sadly, we see that the ambulance is called to the house because Keziah had a crying spell and then passed out. And he turned gray and they were trying to perform CPR on him, but it wasn't working. And he stopped breathing for 13 minutes. Child, let me tell you something. Woo, baby. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. The good thing, though, they were able to revive him at some point. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. But this is what bothered me. It's when Keke admitted that before he was born, specialists told her that he wouldn't have a good quality of life if she had him. But she believed in God that he would pull through. But now she feels guilty because he's suffering. And yes, we all believe in God and that God can do any and everything. But we also have to trust in doctors too, okay? Because doctors, I feel, are a vessel of God. God pours into them to be able to do what they do. And I know that's a hard predicament to be in, of being pregnant and doctors telling you that this could be the outcome, and you having to make a decision. And I just feel so sorry for that baby because he is suffering. And it's like, did I make the wrong decision? I can't really judge her because I'm not in her shoes and it's not my child. It's not my body. It's, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I would have necessarily given birth to him. I would have rather me having to repent to God than to make a child have to suffer in any type of way, shape, or form, you know, because that's a lot. I just really hope and pray she done having kids. I mean, because girl, if you have another one, all the gloves is off after that, okay? But this is a long video. I'm sorry that it went so long, but it was just so much that I felt on my spirit to say to you guys. And yeah, let me know if y'all want me to do story times and stuff like that on this channel, because I've never done anything like that. So yeah, let me know if y'all want to hear more about my life and things that I've gone through or whatever. Let's talk about that down below in the comment section. And also tell me how you guys felt about the episode. Let's talk about it all. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button, you guys. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.